Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the weekly charm reading for the last week of January and beginning of February 2024. This is a general reading, so make sure you take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and whenever this shows up in your feed, there will be a message in it for you. If there's a charm here that really pops out to you that means something special, take that as an affirmation for yourself. Let's go ahead and get started. What I really like about the energy of this week is you have this guitar, right? Music is really a lot about expression of emotion, but it's also not something you can just pick up and do right away. It's a lot of dedication and practice. So that's kind of our overarching energy for this week of not only this creativity and expression of ourselves and our emotions, but also taking the time to really practice and hone in on some of our skills. Your current energy, you all are supported so nicely by a community of people around you, and you're starting to follow your inner wisdom this week, which is a really beautiful energy. A lot of people have not been trusting themselves. This week, some of that energy is really coming out for you. However, we also have the spaceship. He came in upside down, so that's like a lot of forward momentum, quick. You're kind of slowing down this week, and that's okay. It's good to take a deep breath and get yourself together, really hone in on your practice and skills. We don't need to always rush through things. So this week, you're kind of being called to kind of like calm down. It's okay. There is forward momentum. We are making strides. Some of you are being called to kind of like go for it and really attack this week, while others of you are really being called to again, just kind of slow down and take things as they come. There's a lot of harmony, cooperation that's coming through for you. So I don't know if some of you are working on a project. It's really time to reach out and build a community around that and get your support. There's nothing wrong with that. And you're feeling that within yourself too. Like there's kind of things that have, after last week's turmoil and just kind of feeling like that energy, like things are kind of slowing down this week. And trust me, we all needed that. You're also feeling very ambitious. You have a goal, you have a big vision, and you're ready to attack it. Whether this is inner work you're doing, again, a project, a relationship, whatever it is, you feel like you're starting to collect yourself and really know where you're headed. And you're feeling very ambitious about your goals this week, which is great. And that's also, it falls into the contributing factors for a week too, using that ambitious energy to really start to, again, hone in on these skills, find some collective balance here in this cooperation piece. There's definitely some regrowth and regeneration happening here. Starfish, I think he came up last week too, or 2 weeks ago rather. You can cut off his leg and it'll regrow. So there's definitely some, either some of you need to do some of that cutting off and letting that regrow and regenerate as it's supposed to. Others of you just know that through some work that you're doing, that regeneration is coming for you. You also have this tree, so there's a sense of community, a sense of family, a sense of bearing fruit that's coming for you this week as well. This is such I'm loving this energy. The more I talk, the more I'm kind of getting these chills about it. Others involved, for some of you, there's someone who's kind of like holding you back and kind of like pulling in your energy, and that doesn't necessarily need to be in a bad way, right? That could just be somebody who's like really like, okay, I see where you're going, but let's think about this. Let's hone in on these skills. Follow that intuition, follow that sense of inner wisdom, but like, don't rush into things. So somebody may be really kind of like pulling you back a little bit in that way. And again, not necessarily a bad thing. For others of you, you could have somebody who's literally like, no, we were going to move forward in this direction, and no, we're done. So that's, it came out again in reverse. So it came out upside down. You also, some of you, this is a golf bag that came up in reverse also. So I'll flip him around so you can maybe see him a little better. But golf is, seen as a fun game. It also is very calming. Let me say that, it can be calming and relaxing, but it's also a game of skill and strategy. You need to know the lay of the land. You need to know the cut of the grass. Is it wet? Is it dry? Is it sand? Are we going into water? Is it rough? Are we on the green? Is there a slope? All of those things. So there's, excuse me, for others involved, there's someone who is really not being strategic about how they do things. They're just kind of like going for it and throwing things out there and hitting the ball and playing the game of life without really having any strategy. And that could be really driving you nuts this week. But sometimes we also do need to do some trial and error as we learn and hone in these skills. So, just kind of keep that in mind too. But it also crosses into the things to avoid. So I would say, just don't go about things this week like all willy-nilly. Make sure you kind of like have a plan, know your tools, know your resources, know where you're headed. And maybe this is an information gathering phase as we're looking at our inner wisdom. Yes, we're ambitious, but we're, taking time to practice and hone in our skills. So just don't forget to do that. Just don't start swinging at anything and with any club. It's not you're not gonna get where you want to go. The issues at hand, it's interesting that the tree is here. So some of you may be having some issues, things coming up within friendships, within partnerships, within whatever that you kind of are navigating this week. What I'm also hearing is that like you're expecting this fruit so much sooner, and you just really need to like take a breath. It's coming. Trust. Actions to take this week. We have the tiger's eye, which is really a good, beautiful grounding stone. So you're being called to really ground this week. Do some meditations. If it's not too cold where you are, get outside, take a walk. I know this is really hard to do, but at the end of your nice hot shower, turning on that cold water, and it really brings you back into your body. It could even just be as you're sitting there. It could be at work, it could be at home before you get ready for bed, whatever it is, and just like feel your feet on the floor, feel where your legs are in contact with the chair or whatever is beneath you, feel the clothing against your skin. Really make sure you're present. And that will kind of bring some of these things together. And that also comes in that resolution. Like as you practice these skills, the actions you take are going to be more grounded actions, which can really bring about just a lot more productivity. The resolution, oh, that's interesting. I didn't really catch that the infinite love kind of fell in the issues at hand and the resolution. So, what Spirit is saying when it falls in the issues at hand is there's something that you're really, really passionate about, but you're not quite sure how to go about it. This could, again, be a partnership. It could be a project you're working on. It could be within your career, that you want this, but it's not there yet. And that's okay, because once you ground yourself, once you hone in on these skills, trust your inner wisdom, find your balance, continue to be ambitious, continue to grow, and regenerate, all of those things will come together. And I really do feel like you're just going to have this like love of life and love of where you're going and love of your partner and all of those beautiful things that are here for you this week. So that is your charm reading for this week. The card that came out, and this is from the Mystical Wisdom deck, is competition, summon courage and self-confidence. So some of you have these grand plans, but you just don't have the confidence to take the first steps to, find those tools, to hone those skills, to really go after what you want. It's time this week. Some of you, it could even be a competition with somebody else, like, oh, let's see who can get this done faster. Those kind of competitions can really be helppful. It's time to really find out, and reflect on what we've brought in, and what we need to release in this next cycle of things. Yeah, so really what I'm getting is like, jump on that tiger's back and go for it. Okay, beautiful souls, those are the messages for this week. I hope these messages find you well. Comment down below, to claim this energy. I'd love to hear if any of this is showing up and how it is showing up in your life as the week progresses. Thank you so much, Spirit. Much love, much light. Namaste.